We the lazy declare that we will recline when we feel inclined. And yes, we feel inclined.
We answered our kids' questions all day. It's our time to prioritize, no priorities.
Why?
Because
We put in back-to-back doubles, so now we'll be putting in extra OT right here.
We've checked off our to-do list.
Now we're checking off our to-don't list.
We the lazy are taking back lazy.
By getting comfy on our Lazy Boy furniture.
Lazy Boy. Long live the lazy.
Time, weather, and...
How you doing, everybody? I'm Chief Meteorologist Denis Phillips. Heat's still the hot topic of weather conversation, right? Just smashed the previous record for rainfall in Tampa. Still a very nice day. We've got some clouds out there, even a couple of sprinkles as another front rolls through the area. Most of us wake up to sunshine and then very warm temperatures in the afternoon. For temperatures, they're going up and they're staying up. Really nice forecast, especially if you're planning on going to the beach or the pool. Rain chances very slim. It's another beautiful day in store. It's going to bring us a very high chance of storms. Isolated showers across the area. Mother Nature likes to remind us that it isn't set by a calendar. We are always on it for you, just in case things begin to pop.
Streaming from the ABC Action Weather Center in Studio A. This is Denis Phillips Live, sponsored by Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Level up your lazy moments. Visit one of our 6 Bay Area showrooms today. Lazy Boy, long live the lazy.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Thursday night edition of Denis Phillips Live. We don't have anything threatening right this minute. We typically go on the air Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes we go on more if the weather's breaking or if we see some rough stuff coming. And obviously, it has been an El Nino year. You know, if anybody who's been around this show for a while, and I know a lot of you are, a lot of the, you know, we get the newcomers when there's rough weather, and they check us out, and then they hear us talking about weather or anything else, and some are into it, some aren't. But the folks who are the diehards, we've been talking about El Nino and its impact on us for, what, 6 months? Because once we knew El Nino was going to extend into the wintertime, that all of a sudden gave us all those signs that we were going to be seeing a very wet winter. So here's what I want to do. You know, actually, I wasn't going to show this map, but I think I will just because it is relevant to what's going on here. Let me go ahead and actually, you know what? We're going to do some hellos first, and then we'll jump into the other stuff. All right, let me get my computer ready. I think it is. It's ready. Okay, so who do we have here tonight? We've got Instagram streaming. I have been streaming the last couple of days on Instagram. Just started doing that. They gave me the ability to do that, so that's nice. And today was kind of a crazy day because we hit the lower 60s. It was as high as we've got. And now you can see behind me, we got a warm front coming through. And that warm front, which moves from south to north, a couple of things indicative of warm fronts. They're not severe. You don't get thunderstorms. But obviously a warm front, which, by the way, you've probably heard the terminology, warm front, cold front, stationary, occluded front. You've maybe never heard of the occlusion. It's close to a stationary front. But a warm front is nothing more than two air masses pushing against each other and the warm air winning out, the warm air advancing. So think about a battle. Think about a war. And you've got these two fronts colliding, right? Well, a warm front is the warm front. The warm air is winning, pushing back the cold air. A cold front, same thing. A front between two air masses or two anythings, right? But with a cold front, the cold air is advancing. So this is a warm front, and warm air is advancing where temperatures will actually rise overnight in our southern counties, or at the very least stay steady. And then tomorrow, we go instead of highs in the low to mid 60s to highs in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. Then we get more cold air Saturday. We get some strong thunderstorms overnight Friday. We get a lot of clouds Saturday. We might have more rain Monday night for the Bucs game, potentially into Tuesday, although I'm leaning a little later, but we'll see how the new models are showing. And then the coldest air of the year so far coming in by the middle of the week. A freeze is likely next Thursday morning. So we got a lot to talk about. But before we do that, we do have some hellos. Dolores in Homosassa, how you doing? Nice to see you. Linda as well. You know, we've got, well, heck, we've got, you know, about 2,000 people in and around So we normally do our hellos when it's our core group, you know, our diehards, the folks who have been here from day one, which, by the way, we've been doing these streaming sessions for well over 11 years now. We did it way before Facebook offered Facebook Live. A lot of us, about 200 of us, we were doing on Procaster, we were doing Ustream. This was back when you could play songs and not have Facebook cut you off automatically with them noticing that you're playing music. We would do movie quote trivia. I mean, this was a group that we had get-togethers. It's really been a very rewarding experience, and hopefully, yeah, and one thing I've noticed is there's a lot of friendships that have come out of this. I mean, I have people texting me all the time from the group that we've known that I've never actually met face-to-face, but it's a group that we've been together for a long time. So we're always here, even if there isn't rough weather going on, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and some other nights as well, to just chit-chat, have a conversation, and also some camaraderie. So I do want to talk about El Nino. We've been talking about, and by the way, you may have heard, this is something we've talked about for so long. El Nino, it first started back hundreds and hundreds of years ago off the coast of South America. The anchovy crop or harvest would be impacted around Christmas time based on whether or not there was a warm area of water or cold area of water off the coast of South America. If it's an area of warm water, it's El Nino, and the fishermen noticed that their fishing, that their anchovy crops or harvest were impacted by that warm water. They called it El Nino, which loosely at that point they were referring to the Christ child because it occurred during the Christmas season. So it's something we've talked about that expression for decades and decades and decades. Well, now we've noticed that El Nino has a real impact on hurricane season, but it also has a real impact on the winter weather. You can argue the impacts winter are probably greater in the south than hurricane season. But here's what it is. You get this area of warm water off the coast of South America, and it has an impact on the trade winds. It has an impact on the upper level winds. And in certain years, the trade winds will weaken, pushing warmer water off the coast of South America. That warmer water has a direct impact on upper level winds, which causes unfavorable development conditions for the Caribbean and the tropical Atlantic, especially the Caribbean. But in the wintertime, when we get an El Nino, it has a much different impact. It creates a far more active subtropical jet stream, which are those red arrows. The polar jet still out there. But for the south, it creates more of a pattern, which brings, one, a better chance of rain, and two, a higher chance of severe weather because of the subtropical jet, which can, again, energize low pressure developing in the Gulf or frontal boundaries dropping down from north to south. So in the wintertime, we see typically a much better chance of rain and severe weather, which unfortunately we had both earlier this week. And it's played out exactly like this. I mean, we were talking about this as of the middle of the summer that we knew this winter was going to be that way. And here is the favorable thing that's come of this. Here's the new drought index numbers that have come. Thank you very much, Anita. Again, all star proceeds go to Children's Miracle Network and Feeding Tampa Bay. So there's a look at the drought numbers. And for the first time in months and months and months, the extreme drought is down. The only area still under extreme drought is extreme coastal Manatee in Sarasota County. Pinellas is no longer in an extreme drought. It's in a severe drought, but it is improving. And I'll tell you, happy birthday. Oh, Alyssa, how you doing? Good to see you as always. Emily, how are you doing? Nice to see you as always. Love the haircut, Emily. Love it. Somebody's birthday is coming up. I missed. Oh, it was Beth. Beth, happy birthday to you. I wish the weather would be better on Saturday. But here's a look at that the drought index. It's really looking better. And that will continue to improve. So, I mean, how interesting is that? We usually think in the summertime we get all our rain, and if we don't get our rain in the summer, we're stuck, and we're going to be in a bad drought in the winter and spring because we don't normally see rain in the winter. We normally have sunshine, which is why all the people from up north come on in and hang out here for 5 or 6 months while the weather's beautiful. But this year with that El Nino, it has been a wonderful thing in terms of rainfall, but obviously, you know, the severe threat. And boy, this is something that I wanted to mention quickly. I was talking to James, who's the golf pro at Eastlake Woodlands. We were talking, he was texting me a little while ago. And there was an EF1 tornado that formed in that area and did some damage to some houses. And for the last week, we've talked about the severe threat. But, you know, we always say the chances of you individually being impacted are so incredibly small, like less than 0.1%, which is exactly what happened. But if you are that 0.1%, it's still something that you need to know about in advance. Now, can you prepare for a tornado? No. I mean, let's be honest. In Florida, it's not like up north where you see a big wedge coming in and you have the ability to go to your basement, which we don't have anyway. Our tornadoes happen so quickly. The one that hit Eastlake Woodlands, we warned on. We talked about it on TV and streaming, which we were streaming at the same time, while it was still offshore. Moved right over my neighborhood, not on the ground, but above. And what they'll do is you'll see the circulation, they'll move in, and that funnel will sometimes just drop down, hit the ground, go right back up again. It's absolutely impossible with the majority of our tornadoes to really know in advance exactly where they're going to go. It's not like a big wedge cloud, not like a wedge tornado where you see it miles away up north. We don't get those here very often. I mean, once every generation maybe we might. But point is, you know, we talk about that severe threat, and 99.999% of the people don't get it. And then some of those people are like, well, why the heck are you talking about this tornado possibility? It's hype, it's hype, it's hype. Well, if you're the half a dozen people who live in Eastlake Woodlands whose house got hit by the tornado and there was damage, you're thinking something entirely different. Again, it's our responsibility to cover a massive viewing area and to try to let people know if there is any severe weather, and I get it. Let me tell you, when I would go on TV and interrupt General Hospital, I have never seen such venomous viewers in my entire life. Nothing scared me more than breaking into programming when GH is on, because the viewers are nasty. Flat out. They'll go after you. Tell him to stop talking on TV and messing up my story. I'm missing my story because my mother called one. No, but my point is, they get angry. And he's just talking to hear himself talk. No, we're really just talking because we're trying desperately to let people know if they're in the path of a tornado to take shelter. But I'm the first to admit it. Tracking a tornado the size that we get, which that one was maybe 50 yards wide, is almost impossible. We see it. We can see what's known as a debris ball. You can actually see that lift up a little bit on radar. But we're not like up north, fortunately, because those tornadoes are a lot bigger. And ours are way trickier. But at the end of the day, it's still my responsibility to go out there and let everybody know whether there's going to be water rise, whether there's going to be a possibility of a tornado. And I'll say this the majority of the time, thankfully, 99.99999% of the people aren't going to be impacted by that. But that 1/10 of 1%, 1/100th of 1/10 of 1% that are, need to know. So that's kind of why we do it. All right, so let us jump back into where we were, because we got a lot going on, folks. My daughter is flying to Chicago tomorrow, and I'm like, Kendall, you're probably going to get stuck. No, Dad, I'm fine. I'm okay. Kendall, there's going to be a blizzard. Kendall, they're going to get a foot of snow on Friday night, and then it's going to dry out, and the winds are going to be blowing, and there's going to be drifts everywhere, and you're not going to be able to go anywhere. No, Dad, I'm okay, you silly man. It's okay. We'll be fine. So anyway, my daughter is flying into the heart of a 970 millibar snowstorm with blizzard conditions on. I miss the fireside chats too, Ryan. We used to have YouTube videos, fireside on the right side of the screen. But, you know, that gets flagged. You just can't do anything anymore. They're always watching. Always watching. Second Monsters, Inc. All right, so anyway, yeah, so Kendall is going to be up in Chicago. And maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll try to get her tomorrow night and we can do like a DPL from up there. Oh, that would be fun. You know what? I heard her plane lands around noon. That is I don't know what she's going to be doing, but I guarantee you she ain't going to be traveling around the city. She's going to be stuck in a hotel room or wherever she's staying with a ton of snow. So I'm going to try to do that tomorrow night. That would actually be really, really, in fact, you know what? Let me call her right now. No, I'll call her after the show. But I think that would be awesome. If they can get signal. I don't know. Anyway, let's get back to weather. See, we get this. I go on a tangent, and you just never know what direction I'm going to go here. Caribbean is fine, Sharon. You got no worries for any kind of cruise, if that's what you're wondering about. All right, so there's the drought numbers. They look much better. There is the warm front. As we described earlier, two air masses pushing against each other, the warm air advancing, thus a warm front. A warm front is a stable atmospheric condition, so therefore that rain you see there is just rain. There are no thunderstorms with it, just some rain moving from south to north. Now think about this. We're getting into Meteorology 101 here. This makes a lot of sense. If you have in the northern hemisphere, let's say in the United States, cold air will be to the north, warm air to the south, right? Okay, so if there's a warm front in Florida, that warm front is going to have to be coming in from the south because the warmer air is south and the colder air is north, 99.9999% of the time. So a warm front moves from south to north, just like this rain is moving from south to north as the warm air advances. That's why temperatures will quite possibly rise in the overnight. There's no lightning is in the Tampa Bay lightning or is in lightning and heat lightning, Michaela? Which are you talking about? So yeah, Ryan, I actually think temperatures south of I-4 will stay steady or even rise some overnight. And tomorrow they will start from the low 60s, which is where we are now, and end up in the upper 70s. So anyway, there's the rain that's going on now, moving south to north. Tonight, scattered showers. Tomorrow morning, lots of clouds and a few showers. Temperatures right now, southern counties, lower 60s. They will stay there all night long. Same thing, Pinellas, Hillsborough, Polk. Cooler up north because Citrus County has not had the impacts of that warm front yet. Okay? All right, so Northeast Florida tomorrow, lots of clouds, Chris. Lots of clouds. Bolts game is 1-1. Jules, thanks for the update. All right, so temperatures right now, upper 50s to low 60s. They're not going to budge. They're going to stay that all night long. Carrollwood 59, Plant City 59, Brandon 59, Dover, Sefner, Valrico, same, low 60s in Pinellas. Highs today. We hit the low to middle 60s. Joe, how's it going, my man? Ocala temp tomorrow, mid to upper 70s. Bolts now take the 2-1 lead, according to Tony. There you go. And Stacy and Kathleen. They all verified it, as did Joe. So anyway, so there's your temperatures today. We hit the low to mid 60s. Okay, Chris, forecast says severe storms and winds and possible tornadoes tomorrow. I disagree. We will talk about that in a minute. Cloudy right now, some showers in our southern counties. And there's the rain. The rain this evening, you know, that is going to move on. Sure, you're asking about St. Pete probably in the next 90 minutes. Very light stuff. This is light rain. Light to moderate rain, no severe weather, just kind of some scattered showers moving from south to north tonight. Cloud cover all day tomorrow in Clearwater, pretty much, Stefan. Pretty much. El Nino next year, too early to tell. Too early to tell. The storming tomorrow, BJ, will be overnight tomorrow night. And I'll show you that right now. Here's Futurecast. So watch it moving north. See, I'm going to slow this down for you. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you're right. There is some yellow in Venice. I mean, I say light to moderate. It's more like moderate. There's definitely no heavy rain. All right, so watch everything moving to the north. That's the warm air advancing. The warm air winning, pushing back the cold air. Again, all's quiet on the Western Front. You've heard of that movie? Or if not, it's an old one. But a front is just a battle zone. In war, it's a battle zone of soldiers. In weather, it's a battle zone of air masses. And whichever one's winning gets to call it. The warm air winning, it's a warm front. The cold air winning, it's a cold front. If it's stationary, they're locked in battle and neither side is moving much. All right, so there is tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Still continues to move north as the warm air advances northward. Warm and muggy tomorrow, cloudy most of the day. Then, that's 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Then the cold front, which is up in the panhandle tomorrow, starts to get closer. See it? There's your leading edge tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Okay? So, that's the question. Will we see a severe threat out of this tomorrow? We'll touch on that in a second. As the line moves through overnight, Friday night, tomorrow night, into Saturday morning, there's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. This is a cold front. So what does that mean? What does it mean when it's a cold front? No coastal flooding. It means that the cold air is advancing, right? That's what it means. So, a couple things going on. I'm actually looking at something on a different computer right now. Yeah, I will show you this. I have this graphic, but it's not called up on my computer. Let me look for it real quick, though. We'll talk. You were asking about the severe threat. So here, let's talk about that. Where's that map? Yeah, I can't find it. So I'll show it to you on this map. The severe threat tomorrow has been downgraded. It was a level 2. It's now a level 1. So the severe threat is rather small. It isn't 0. No, Carol, you get severe weather when cold air overtakes the warm air. You do not get severe weather when warm air overtakes the cold air. The dynamics are different. Terry, how are you? And how are those chickens? Terry's one of my favorites. She always talks about her chickens. All right, so anyway, there you go. There's the threat is rather low for any chance of severe weather tomorrow night. All right, so let's keep going. So there's the front. Now, Saturday morning, the front will have gone through. We stay mostly cloudy, and it's a cold front, so we're going to get colder again, back in the 60s. So we're 60s today, near 80 tomorrow, back in the 60s on Saturday. Justine moved from Lansing, Michigan. Oh, boy. Yeah, they're getting some snow up there, huh? Okay, so Saturday will be mostly cloudy and chilly. Maybe a few showers, southern counties. Sunday. Now, I think Sunday will be the better of the 2 days. So let me get on camera here and so I can reinforce so there will be no confusion. Cloudy, mostly cloudy on Saturday, chilly. Sunday, I-4 North, mostly sunny. Mostly sunny on Sunday, I-4 North, partly cloudy, I-4 South, with maybe a few showers in those southern counties. Sunday will be the better of the 2 days. Temperatures will moderate in the mid to upper 60s on Sunday, low to mid 60s on Saturday. Okay? It's a weekend forecast. I wanted to make sure I was clear on that because I don't want someone saying, Dennis, I canceled this and you said, no, listen. I always talk about personal accountability when it comes to the forecast. You got to listen. All right, so there's Sunday afternoon. Now, temperatures all over the place. Tomorrow morning, look at the temps, exactly the same as they are now. Temperatures will rise overnight. Kind of rare for us to see that. Happens a lot up north. Doesn't happen as much around here. So they will rise tomorrow morning. We start in the low to mid 60s. Look at those afternoon highs. Upper 70s to low 80s. That is nearly 20 degrees warmer than it was today. Penn State, David, 15 to 20 degrees warmer than it was today. It'll be warmer, it'll be muggier, still some clouds. Okay? Saturday morning, watch this. I'm going to take this map and do it again. Watch the cold air. I'm going to go back in time. Okay, we're going to go forward now. Watch the cold air coming in from the north. See it coming down? Look at that. See it? See it? There's your cold air. Saturday morning, mid to upper 50s. Look at your high temperatures on Saturday. Yikes. Upper 50s. So you're going to go from upper this weather is ridiculous lately. Seriously. We're going to go from lower 60s today to upper 70s tomorrow to mid 50s on Saturday. It's crazy, right? It's crazy. All right. Let's go back to full screen graphic. Whenever I want to make a point about something, I actually take the camera back so I can use my hands. Identical. That's another thing. Anybody, if you know, you know. All right, so there it is on Saturday afternoon. Sunday morning, mid to upper 40s north of I-4, low 50s, I-4 southward. A chilly snuggle alert in effect for Saturday night. Weather Monday night, Michael, that is the big. That is a tough one. We'll talk about that one in a minute. I know we only have 4.5 minutes left on streaming. Friday, that rain you see on Friday is overnight. It is not during the day. It is overnight. Saturday, that rain you see is before 6 a.m. Sunday, south of I-4, maybe a few showers north of I-4, sunny. And Monday, the rain chances return. Now look at these temperatures. Look at the middle of next week. A high in the low 50s. I think we see a freeze on Thursday morning. I think at least half of the area sees a freeze on Thursday morning. And Ryan, it is not out of the realm of possibility that we could see highs in the 40s on Wednesday. So MLK Day, there will be clouds increasing with rain back in the forecast. All right, so there's tonight, scattered showers. Look at the 7-day, and then we've got to look at the graphics before the streamers leave. There's the 7-day. I mean, it's just crazy, right? Tomorrow, that rain is overnight, Friday night. Saturday, it's early in the morning, before 6 a.m. Sunday, partly sunny, I-4 north, a pretty nice day, upper 60s. MLK Day on Monday, we will have partly to mostly cloudy skies in the afternoon with rain arriving late into Tuesday, and then much colder weather on Wednesday. Let's look at the models. All right, tomorrow morning, warm front moving through. Overnight, cold front coming through. Not a particularly strong front. Very little dynamics. I don't expect severe weather out of this. I do not expect severe weather tomorrow night. I think there might be a couple of thunderstorms, but I don't expect severe weather. That takes us to Saturday morning. This takes us to Sunday morning. There comes another warm front, but this takes us to Monday morning. Look at the colors that are showing out west. My friends, that is ice, sleet, freezing rain, and snow into northern Louisiana. This is Monday morning. Monday at 2 o'clock, Monday at 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, with the model runs showing as they are, that brings a pretty good chance of some rain across the area Monday afternoon and Monday evening. Certainly possible for the Bucs game. It's not set in stone. It's 5 days off. Yes, just rain. So that is Monday. Look at what else we see. This is Tuesday morning. Look at the ice in the panhandle. It's been showing it for about 3 days. See that little pinkish color? Has a little bit of sleet in the panhandle, Panama City. Because look at that. You got snow and ice and sleet and maybe making it into the panhandle on Tuesday. And then look at your 540 line, the freezing line, folks, getting into Florida, the middle of next week. And then lifting back north before another. Actually, look at that. We've got about 4 days of no rain. How about that? Actually, yeah, we're getting a little bit of a break there. So that's kind of nice. Let's look at the national picture. We have a minute left on the streaming, for the streaming app. Tomorrow morning, Friday morning, or Saturday morning, look at my daughter in Chicago in the middle of a blizzard. Oh, Dad, I'll be okay. Don't worry about it. All right, there's tomorrow morning. There's the snow in Chicago, flying into it, allegedly. All right, there's Saturday morning. A low right through Michigan, 980 millibar low. All right, and then look at the blast of cold air. And then look at the snow and the ice in Louisiana. Look at the snow and ice in Mississippi, Alabama. And look at that 540 line digging all the way down to the Gulf Coast. There it is. All right. So if you're watching on our streaming app, thanks for watching. I'm going to continue on Facebook for a couple of minutes. Streamers are done in 10 seconds. Have a great weekend. I don't think we'll need a show tomorrow, but if I get my daughter live in Chicago in a snowstorm, we will, because that'd be rather entertaining. Have a good night. We'll see you in our next edition of Denis Phillips Live. Okay, so the streamers are gone. Let's go back to the... let's go back to 540 line. Yeah, it does look like we're getting a little bit of a break from some rain. Maybe. Well, until that comes in. See what the Euro is showing. I mean, overall rainfall potential, there's the next 7 days. So you can see us, that blue color is about an inch to 2 inches of rain. But again, I don't see any significant pattern change at all. So in my mind, we're going to stay in this pattern for a while, which means over the next week, we're going to see cold, we're going to see hot, we're going to see rain, we're going to see dry, we're going to see ice possibly in Panama City, and we're going to see the coldest morning that we've seen next Thursday morning so far this season. Probably, I would say there'll be a freeze warning for citrus a week out, but I would say if I was a betting man, I would say freeze warning, Citrus, Hernando, Eastern Pasco, Northern Polk on next Thursday morning. That is my guess a week out. Massive snuggle alert needed. Which, by the way, and I have not talked about this for a while, with Valentine's Day right around the corner, I don't know if I still have these, with Valentine's Day right around the corner, we will be offering, yes, you know, Snuggle Alert candles, Snuggle Alert mugs for donations and proceeds. Again, go to Children's Miracle Network and Feeding Tampa Bay. So on our Etsy page, there they are, Snuggle Alert candles for your Valentine. I think I'm going to start, they're posted now, but I think I'm going to start talking about it in about a week as we get closer to Valentine's Day. So proceeds benefit local charities, and you have your own Snuggle Alert candle for the upcoming time. So, all right, guys, that's about it. I will let you know if, you know what, hold on. Let's just go ahead and call Kendall right now. Since it's just the streaming, it's not the streaming folks anymore. It's she's not going to pick up. I guarantee you she won't pick up, but let's see. We'll see if Kendall can go live tomorrow night. Do I think it's going to be going on? I do. Hello? How are you? I am live on DPL right now. And we are talking about you because I'm telling everybody you're going to get snowed in. So my question is, tomorrow night at 7:30-ish, are you going to be in Chicago? PM? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So ideally. Yeah, ideally, correct. If they don't cancel your flight. So if you're there, I want to do a live Zoom with you on your phone so you can show the snow to everybody. Really? Yeah, because that would be awesome. And everybody's saying yes, yes. By the way, if you get there, correct. Everybody's saying, hi, Kendall, hi, Kendall. Yeah, if you get there, because if you get there, you might not be able to get home until July, is kind of my thought. Because the snow is going to be really, really high. Yeah, they're going to have a blizzard on Saturday. It's going to go from a heavy, wet snow tomorrow with like 8 to 12 inches of snow to a much colder... Yeah, you'll get out on Monday. You'll be out on Monday. Yeah, you might not get out Sunday, but you'll get out on Monday. All right, so, okay, so anyway, tomorrow night, so wherever, and the worst of it will get started around like 3 or 4 tomorrow afternoon. So my thought is you'll already be where you're going to be. So it's going to be snowing cats and dogs, if that's such an expression, tomorrow evening. So I want to do a live with you out there in the snow. Because that'll be awesome. Okay? What think about it? What is this think about it stuff? No, you don't have to be out. You don't have to be out in the snow. You can be looking out the window. You can hold the camera out the window and show everybody the snow. Okay, all right, good. Okay, safe travels. I hope it doesn't get canceled. Let me know how it goes tomorrow. All right, sweetie, love you. All right, bye. Okay, so we have a correspondent. Kendall Phillips will be... Weather Channel's got Jim Cantori. We've got Kendall Phillips. Way better. Way, way better. Much prettier and far more entertaining. So, just saying. All right, so anyway, tomorrow night, if she gets into Chicago and is able to get signal in the middle of the blizzard, we will be back with a live shot from the snow. All right. So anyway, all right. You guys have a great night. Thanks for coming. And if the storms get a little feistier tomorrow, we'll be back either way. I don't think they will be. I think we're going to be fine. So have a great night. We will see you tomorrow, more than likely, along with our correspondent Kendall Phillips on our next edition of Denis Phillips Live. See you guys.
We the lazy declare that we will recline when we feel inclined. And yes, we feel inclined.
We answered our kids' questions all day. It's our time to prioritize, no priorities.
Why?
Because
We put in back-to-back doubles. So now we'll be putting in extra OT right here.
We've checked off our to-do list.
Now we're checking off our to-don't list.
We the lazy are taking back lazy.
By getting comfy on our lazy boy furniture.
Lazy boy, long live the lazy.